Hi, welcome back to Margaret Country Crafts and Miniatures. My name is Catherine, and today we are doing some more DIY crafts. I've been doing a lot of miniatures, but this one we're going to do some classic DIY decor crafts, and they light up. So that's right, DIY light up decor. So in my last video, which was a haul of the clearance boxes from Michael's craft store, I received these light up wooden pieces and these 3 wooden signs I'm going to be using that I already have on hand. But let's get into the first DIY, the tea kettle. So using this $2 wooden plaque that I have had in my stash for quite a while, I am going to take a paintbrush and this folk art home decor wood tint. This is a really great stain and it's scentless, so you don't have to worry about using it inside. But I'm just going to stain my wood with this brown tint color. And I'm just lathering it on and making sure to get into all the crevices. So back to the tea kettle, these pieces actually come out of the base that they come on, and there's the little tea light that you can see there. I will at some point show you that it does turn on. But I have this blue plaid ribbon, which was also in my Michael's craft store clearance box haul from the last video. And I think this is just a really nice texture as a background for my tea kettle, for the very last piece of the tea kettle. So I'm just taking my Aleene's tacky glue. I love that glue. And I am dabbing it onto the wood piece, and we're going to use the blue plaid ribbon pieces to glue them down onto the wood piece. Most of them I did cut off the little darker wood wire pieces along the sides of the ribbon, but except for one piece. One piece I did leave it on. I kind of liked the contrast that it gave to the center of the tea kettle. And I'm just going to trim off all the excess ribbon. It probably would be a good idea to wait until the glue is completely dry. I didn't do that because I'm impatient. And that's why I have a heat gun, because I like to speed up drying times. You just lose the flow, you know, if your crafting flow, if you have to wait so long. So I'm taking my mini table saw, and we need to be able to access the switch for the light on the tea kettle through the back of this sign. So I'm just cutting out a little square piece from the plaque so that we can still access that switch from the back. And I'm trimming down all the little slat pieces that were at the bottom of each cutout, because we're not going to be using the base for this one. I decided we didn't need to use the base, and because it's a hanging sign, I think it'll look better this way as well. And I'm just sticking a little wooden piece there so that I have something to glue all the top layers to. And just securing it down to the tea light. And my Posca paint pens. I just recently got these maybe a couple of months ago, but they are great quality paint pen. I do believe the hype. But I'm gonna take some green paint and I just lightened it up a bit with some white paint. And I'm gonna start painting one of my layered pieces for the tea kettle. This one has a little like dandelion coming up out of the wooden piece. So I'm just starting with a neutral green color. And the Posca paint pens are gonna come in handy. You'll see after I do my base layer of paint, we now have the green Posca paint pen working to outline all the leaves. I'm gonna use some yellow. I used yellow at first, which now looking at the footage did look really nice. But I then went and added some red sparkly paint pen on top of it, and then that just turned it into orange, and I had to smudge it all together to make it blend. But all in all, it ended up looking okay, I think. And I'm just using my white Posca paint pen just to add some highlights so everything doesn't look so flat. And we now have this finished layer, which is going to be the first layer that goes on top of our background where we did the blue plaid. So I'm just gluing it down on top. And next layer is going to be this mushroom layer, where it has two little mushrooms growing out of the landscape piece. Landscape? I guess. And I just mixed up this dark gray color that kind of stemmed from the green that I was already using, and I just painted the mushroom layer with that base. And for the very top piece which is in the shape of a kettle, the very top layer, I'm just gonna paint it in this metallic blue paint that I have from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna give it a light layer all over it. This paint is very thin. It's a metallic paint. So I'm not gonna bother doing many coats of it. The one coat does look pretty in my opinion. Back with my Posca paint pens, I have red, which I'm gonna use for the mushrooms, and I'm realizing the red of a mushroom is usually on the top, right? The top of the mushroom gets the red with white polka dots, right? That's traditionally what like a mushroom, a cartoony mushroom would look like. But this one, I just went rogue with it. I started with some pink, some white. I went back to my red Posca paint pen, decided to color the whole top of the big mushroom in with the red. And I also had a red sparkly paint pen, so if you see some shimmer, that's why. Some of them are sparkly. And back with my white Posca paint pen, just gonna do some white highlights, which I feel like really brings these cutouts to life. really makes them more three-dimensional and more interesting to look at. Back to the top layer of the tea kettle. I'm just going to paint in the fence part with an orange sparkly pen. I say pen, but they're more like a marker. They're called paint pens, but I do find they are like a paint marker. And I wasn't entirely sure what to do with that bottom piece of the top layer. I ended up adding some green to it just to make it tie in with the background layers a little bit more. But there's a visual of what it will look like, and I'm just going to glue down our finished layer pieces on top. And there we go, we have our first Light Up decor. And there it is, lit up. I think this turned out pretty cute. And I'll show you a visual of it hanging up on a wall later on in the video. DIY number 2 is the rain boot. So another Light Up decor item that was in that Michael's Craft Box haul that I did. This one is of a rain boot. And by looking at the original, I'm realizing that at the end of this DIY, I pretty much messed this piece up, because you'll see one of the middle layers, I placed it so that it's coming out of the boot. I don't know why I did that. It looked right at the time, but now that I'm looking at the footage, it does not look right. But hey, that's part of the process, right? That's part of the process of doing your own DIYs, is forgetting what the original looked like and just doing whatever you want. So I've decided to go the staining route again, just taking that folk art wood tint and staining the boot, the back slat. I'm going to call them slats or plaques. But I'm also tinting the base as well. And I'm just going to remove the light up stickers that are on top of it. If you're liking this video, please like it. If you would like to subscribe, I would love that. Please subscribe. And please turn on the bell notification so you know when I upload. And I'm just going to stain all of the layers of the rain boot. And I'm just going to use my heat gun to dry up the drying time, to speed up the drying time. And back with my Posca paint pens, I'm going to add some details onto the little cutout pieces using this nice bright pink for some of the flowers, doing some white highlights to the grass blades. Using yellow again to do that half little daisy or daffodil. Just adding some subtle line details to those. I don't want to overdo it because I still want that wood tint to shine through and give it some depth. We have more of a neon pink that I'm going to use for the butterfly. The butterfly, I used a nice bright blue turquoise for the body of it. And the white highlights really make that that butterfly stand out. And some yellow just for the other flowers. More blades of the grass. This is a different layer piece. So I'm just quickly showing you what I did to each layer of them. And onto the very top layer of the boot. I'm just gonna give details to the butterfly, to all the little flowers. My trick for this really is to use some bright colors, black outline, and with white highlights. I find that gives the best three-dimensional, almost cartoonish look, I guess. I didn't really know what other route to go with these DIY pieces. I did want them to feel springy and summery because we're almost to summer. It's been raining a lot where I am, so hopefully the weather is going to start feeling more summery. Hopefully not the hot, humid summer temperatures. That just gets uncomfortable. But is that a favorite of yours? Which kind of weather do you prefer? Do you prefer it to be nice and like cool and chill, like fall or spring temperatures? Or do you actually really enjoy the summer temperatures? Do you like it when it's nice and hot and humid? Let me know in the comments. So just adding more white details all over. And there we have our very top layer of the boot. And you know what I think I did? I think I painted the wrong side of that layer. I think that's why it's now poking out of the boot. That's why. Well, we cracked the code. We solved the mystery, everybody. Yes, I painted the wrong side of that one layer, and that's why it's now poking out of the boot. But it didn't bother me that much because it still looks whimsical, which is the whole intention of this final light up decor piece. So I'm just gluing it to this wooden plaque that I got from the dollar store. These are really nice. These are actually from Dollar Tree, which was shocking because they're such a nice wood quality piece. And with a frame around it too. So there we have our light up rain boot with some butterflies and flowers coming out of it. But we're not done yet because I wanted to add just a little bit of another embellishment to it. I wanted to add this very nice lavender faux stem piece from Dollar Tree. It's almost like frosted too. It has like a white covering all over it. And I wanted to add that as a final piece to our rain boot. And on to our last DIY number 3, the butterfly. So this one, that's just like the two before it, the rain boot and the tea kettle. We have the butterfly. And just like the ones before it, the layers, they all pop out of the base. But I am cutting off the little tabs that allow them to go into the base because we're not going to be using the base with this one. I did use the base for the rain boot one. I just thought with the plaque that I had that it didn't intrude on the design that much. So I did keep the base for that one. But for this one, just like the tea kettle, I'm cutting off the little slats with my table saw. I got this off of Amazon, and it's been a really useful tool for just like little mini wood crafting DIY projects that I do. I'm not doing anything like really heavy duty, anything like really heavy construction or anything. I'm just doing these little crafts, so it makes a great table saw. And I'm just gonna stain again with that wood tint by Folk Art. I really like this wood tint. Gives a really nice rich brown color to it. And I took this eggplant purple color paint, and my camera died, so I didn't get to pick that up. But I basically just painted the outer ridge, the outer frame of the wood circle. And this wood circle, by the way, is a resin pour art frame from Dollar Tree. It's a really good size. So I just painted that up, and now we're gonna take our last background piece of the butterfly, and I got this felt ribbon from the Michael's Craft clearance boxes, and I'm gonna try to use some of it up. I do regret using this because the fluff, I don't know what this is made out of, but it's supposed to just be velvet, but instead it just caused and created a whole bunch of fluff everywhere, all over me, all over my space. So in the end, I just used it for the corners of the butterfly wings. And I'm gonna paint the main part of the butterfly that same eggplant purple color. I really like this purple color. It's a really nice, rich, I don't want to say Barney, but it does remind me of Barney the dinosaur. Which, did everybody see the revamp of that? Of the new Barney look? Let me know what you think about that. I don't know why that's a topic of conversation for this video, but let me know. And on to the second layer. The second layer is of this cute little frog, and I'm just going to take some turquoise metallic paint, and I'm just going to do one layer over the whole thing. And onto the top, one of the middle layers actually, I'm gonna just do yellow all over it as a base. And I'm gonna use my heat gun again to speed up the drying time. And my green Posca paint pen. This one's a sparkly one. So I'm just gonna fill that all in. Fill in all the leaves. I did start out with just the green, but as I did for my other pieces, I did go back in with black and white because I feel like it just gave it a whole nother dimension. And I have these metallic plastic beads from Dollar Tree, and they came in like various floral little designs. These ones are little roses, blue roses that I'm gonna glue on top as an embellishment on top of the original flowers that they had on it. And I'm just going to outline the little frog, which I painted him green, like a more green color than the turquoise. I'm Just going to outline him to give him some depth. And onto the base butterfly piece, using my black paint pen. Just adding in some little line details. And in with the white, and the white with the black. I don't know what it does, but it elevates it. I really like how it looks. Back with that eggplant purple color. Just gonna paint that all over this final top piece of the butterfly. And just gonna use some more yellow to keep it consistent with the other layers. And some more turquoise. That yellow and the blue turquoise, it really pops off of that purple color. Using white again to do some outlining. Back with the black marker, adding some character lines. And of course adding some white too. Now back to our circle plaque that this is going to sit on. I needed to cut a hole like I did with the past ones so that we can access the little light switch in the back. So with my table saw, I just did some little cuts in it, but then I used just an X-Acto knife to try to chip away some of the area there. Because we don't want to destroy the whole plaque. We just want a little hole cut out so that we can access that switch once it's glued down, which I'm doing now. I am going to glue down the back piece. And I'm just cutting myself a few wooden pieces from that base because we need something to help us glue down all our extra layers that are going to sit on top of this light, this little tea light. So I'm just gluing down some of the little wooden pieces that just raise up above it so that we can have something to glue our layers to. So the flower layers first, then the frog, and then finally on the very top is the last butterfly piece. And there we have our butterfly light up sign. And don't worry, I'm going to show you it all lit up. But the very last step is to add something to hang it up with. So I'm just adding a little bit of ribbon to the top. And here we have a visual of our 3 signs. Not lit up. These are just hanging on the wall with a light shining on them. But just to show you how they look without the light on. And our rain boot, our reimagined rain boot. And the butterfly. And back to our tea kettle. So this is the tea kettle all lit up. The light on this one really shines really nicely. And the light on the rain boot comes in behind that butterfly, which is super nice. And the light on the butterfly one is a little more subtle, but you can still see it shining right through the center. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This was a fun one to get to do with my Posca paint pens and to paint and color it. Comment down below which one was your favorite, and I hope you watched some of my previous videos. I have lots of them, but stick around for the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.